Okay, welcome to our last lesson for booklet 10, and the title of this one is recipes. So, probably been doing lots of baking at home during this lockdown period. I know I certainly have, and you may have made some cakes, and here's some ingredients of what you put in a cake. Right, so if this ingredients here is enough for 10 cakes, what about if I wanted to make enough for 15 cakes? So here's my question. Well, and it's asking me how much flour would I need? Right, so if I need, for 10 cakes, I need 200 grams of flour. Yeah, that's what the recipe says. 10 cakes, 200 grams. So, if I wanted to make half this amount, I would use 100 grams of flour for 5 cakes. But I want to make 15 cakes. It's a bit like your percentage, isn't it? To get, when we find 10, to find 15%, we find 10 and 5. So let's add these two together. I need 300 grams of flour. Okay, and all this is without a calculator. So my answer is 300 grams. Okay, here's another question. How much butter would I need for 25 cakes? Okay, well, for 10 cakes, I need 100 grams of butter. Right, how can I get to 25? Well, I could do 10, 10 and 5 and then add them all together. So I need another 100 grams of butter and half of that for 5 cakes. So if I add all this together, I get enough for 25 cakes. So 100, add 100, add 50, will give me 250 grams of butter. Okay, let's look at now another recipe. Okay, this time this is my recipe for a different cake. Okay, and this is enough to make 6 little fairy cakes. And the question now says, how much would I need? And this is for 6 cakes. Okay, so how much flour would I need for 15 cakes? Okay, I want you to write this one down in your books, please. Okay, well, 6 cakes, I use 100 grams of flour. Now, how can I get to 15? Well, I could do 6 again and 3. Yeah? So I could do another 100 grams, and then half to get 3 cakes would be 50 grams. So altogether, if I add all these up, I will have enough, because 6, 6 and 3 is enough for 15 cakes. So if I add these up, I will have 250 grams of flour. So I'm looking at how to get to 15 starting from 6. So 6, add 3. Right, what about if I wanted to make 9 cakes? Okay, and I want to look at butter now. Okay, well, for 6 cakes, the recipe says I need 80 grams of butter. Well, I want to make 9 cakes, so if I look at 6 add 3, that will give me a total of 9. So for 3 cakes, I need half the amount of butter. So for 9 cakes, if I add these two together, I will get my answer of 120 grams of butter. 6 cakes recipe and half the recipe. Okay. You have a go now at this one here. So write the recipe into your book. Okay. write that recipe. This is enough for 12 scones. And I would like you, this is your learning check. Okay, this is what you are going to send to me as your work for today to test your understanding on recipes. I'm just going to check you can see all that. Yep. Okay, so this is your learning check. Yep. You've got, this is your recipe. This is for 12 scones, and I'd like you to answer each of these questions for me, showing your method like I showed you in the video for each one. Have a lovely day.